You know, Elon.
But she also brought us Dr. Oz and The Secret. We have to remember what this lady has done.
She has to be held accountable.
I forgive her, but The Secret is a particularly egregious offense.
What, you don't believe? You don't believe?
Believe?
I want to be rich.
When I had a son, I stopped watching Oprah because it was just too anti-male, and I felt like I didn't want to bring him up in a home where Oprah was constantly attacking men, and it's really helped.
Sure.
Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson just joined forces and went straight after the cultural powerhouse herself, Oprah Winfrey. And the outcome was sharp, funny, and genuinely surprising. From her massive book club empire to her smooth, persuasive influence, nothing was spared. Rogan questioned the wellness business, while Tucker broke down the polished image masking emotional control. Candles, vision boards, all of it, fair game. This wasn't a light roast. It was a full-on teardown of daytime TV royalty. Get ready, Oprah's empire just felt a serious shake.
Yes, and it's honestly...
She's a little old to be falling down. You loved it?
I loved it.
Wow.
Loved it. She didn't get hurt.
People get hurt.
She's fine.
She's dead.
She died?
Yes.
All right. Ding dong. The witch is dead.
She did. Imagine if she did, and I would
she died from the
joking
fall.
about her. No, she didn't die.
No, she's fine. I just think like
she looks like she got hurt.
It's nice to see billionaires fall.
I agree. And remember, keep your boys away from Oprah. It'll make them feel bad about
I didn't quite know how to respond to that.
It's absolutely true. Keep your girls away from rap, your boys away from Oprah, and everybody will be fine.
Joe Rogan didn't warm up at all. He charged in at full speed, like he downed a gallon of espresso and stumbled onto Oprah's book club camped out on his front lawn, flipping through manifestos with that familiar intensity. He lifted an eyebrow and let out a knowing laugh, like he was in on a joke no one else had figured out yet, and then went after it hard, like a bear discovering an unguarded charcuterie board and deciding it was open season.
I am rich.
I imagine myself flying. I can fly. I will beat my wings until I take off. What's up?
Yeah.
It was one of the more I want to say disturbing, but it was confusing when that was taking hold with people. When I had friends that were telling me that The Secret is real and that they imagined they were going to fulfill these childhood dreams that they had about whatever, being a fucking astronaut, whatever it would be. There's a couple people that I knew that were trying to tell me that The Secret was going to be the thing and that they had a vision board and they had photographs. They put pictures up of the things that they wanted, like them in front of large crowds and shit. And I'm like, oh boy.
Them in front of large crowds.
This is so not how it works.
Yeah.
Joe said Oprah's influence works like gravity from a black hole. Get a little too close and suddenly you're snacking on kale chips, meditating with a crystal, and ordering a $790 gratitude journal you never knew existed. She's not really selling products, he joked. She's gently hypnotizing people into emptying their bank accounts on soap that smells like enlightenment. And according to Joe Rogan, Oprah could bottle plain tap water, label it ancient wisdom from melted glaciers, and people would line up to buy it without a second thought.
Notice that it is more controversial to criticize Oprah than to burn the American flag.
Really?
Seems that way. I've never heard anybody criticize Oprah. Do you think it's political or do you think it's deeper than that? I mean, you're not like a right-winger.
No.
No? No. You don't even seem that political.
No, I'm not really. I'm pretty much, just want to do.
Then he leaned forward with a smirk and said, people treat Oprah like she's the ultimate messiah of good vibes. But if we're being real, he joked, half of her advice sounds like it came from a fortune cookie written during a midlife crisis. It's all inner peace this, vision board that, as if life's problems can be fixed with a scented candle, a deep breath, and a motivational meme shared at just the right moment. At least according to Joe Rogan.
That's why it's sold, but Oprah sold it. I mean, she was one of the big ones, man. And she was
in.
She was fucking 50 years old at the time. I mean, this is not a young woman who is selling this. How old is Oprah now?
75.
89? No, she just ran a marathon in 4 hours.
Joe couldn't resist bringing up what he called the Oprah effect. Anything Oprah Winfrey touches turns to gold, but he said it's not magic, it's mass hypnosis. She could point at a mop, label it a life changer, and suddenly there'd be a nationwide shortage because America decided it was the secret to emotional healing. According to Joe Rogan, people don't even question her anymore. If Oprah told folks to eat pine cones to balance their chakras, he joked, the very next day, Whole Foods would roll out an entire pine cone wellness aisle.
I've been excluded on Oprah, you know.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. Yeah, man.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central, you were successful at a young age, you have dignity, you say what you think. Like, I thought that was the goal.
Me too. You know, I don't know what it is, but, you know, several of my, you know, I had a movie called Barbershop, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
That I wasn't invited to participate.
Joe then shifted to the interviews. He said watching Oprah talk to celebrities is like watching a therapist host a talk show on another planet. She asks one question, then locks eyes with you like your soul is laid on rent. Somehow, he joked, she can make people cry just by blinking slowly and nodding along. It's like a Jedi mind trick, only in high heels. He said Oprah has turned into this floating figure in the American mindset, not just a talk show host, but a full-on lifestyle guide, gently leading lost souls toward artisanal bread and vegan skin cream. According to Joe Rogan, she's less a person now and more a cultural brand, like a self-aware aromatherapy diffuser that hands out book deals and makes you cry before lunch. Then Joe really leaned into it. He said the real source of Oprah's power is her mastery of vague wisdom. He threw his hands up and joked that we live in a world where Oprah could run for president and people would vote based on whether she made them cry back in 2006. Forget policy. Did she help you reconnect with your inner child during a rerun? Perfect. Go ahead and hand her the nuclear codes.
Joe Rogan is calling out Oprah and Michelle Obama for hypocritical speeches at the DNC. Watch.
She's up there talking about income inequality. Like, hey, lady.
Yeah, I know.
You're rich as Like, how is that equal? And also, when Michelle Obama was saying, you know, I think she was saying her mother or grandmother was always suspicious of people who took more than they needed.
Yes.
Like, you are worth so much money.
Take more than they need. The Obamas have 4 mansions.
As he leaned back with a grin, Joe Rogan made it clear he wasn't throwing hate. He was honestly impressed, amazed that one person could become a billionaire by basically acting as America's emotional barista, handing out warm cups of self-worth with a splash of commercial break on the side. Meanwhile, in another corner of the media jungle, Tucker was gearing up to take his own shot at Oprah, with the focus of a man who studies stock charts with a magnifying glass and listens to classical music while cleaning his guns. He treated the whole thing like he was breaking down a national security threat hidden behind a power suit and a book deal. Tucker started by saying Oprah isn't just a media giant, she's the undisputed queen of soft power. Then he narrowed his eyes like he was flipping through a classified file and said Oprah is the scariest kind of powerful. Nice. Not casually nice, not politely pleasant, professionally nice. The kind of nice that walks into a room and somehow makes you feel guilty for existing the wrong way, like a cult leader who swapped robes for linen pants and discovered spiritual journaling.
You know, I had a movie called Barbershop, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
That I wasn't invited to participate with the cast. I produced a show called Black White, and it was a very controversial show. And once again, they had the whole cast on, but I wasn't invited. And so I don't know.
On Oprah's show.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's.
But Oprah's obviously a saintly, godlike figure who's revered by all decent people. Why would she exclude you?
Tucker then shifted into full philosopher mode. He said the world treats Oprah as the living symbol of goodness, but in reality, she's the CEO of carefully packaged vulnerability. According to him, she wraps trauma in luxury paper and sells redemption in easy monthly payments. You get healing, everyone gets healing, as long as they've got a subscription and access to the app. He joked that Oprah turned crying into a business strategy. Once you're rich enough, he said, even pain becomes a product. Her whole brand boils down to this simple message: feel deeply, spend freely. She's not just selling products, she's selling enlightenment. Like fulfillment is hidden somewhere between the Himalayan salt lamp and a cashmere throw pillow. Then Tucker's tone shifted and he looked genuinely unsettled. He said Oprah made it trendy to treat self-help like religion, therapy like a group chat, and emotions like financial assets. In her universe, emotional chaos is content, and hailing is a hashtag, ready to trend on wellness blogs from coast to coast. But he still wasn't done. He said Oprah doesn't really run a network. She runs a spiritual MLM with excellent lighting. The moment she endorses anything, it goes from an unknown item to a sacred object. She could point at a doormat and say it changed her life, and suddenly Home Depot would be packed with soccer moms crying in aisle 3.
You should learn those fucking shiny bottom shoes. Them bitches are useless. You can't wear those things. They're so slippery. Those really expensive shoes that the gals like that always have the shiny bottoms.
Yeah.
Here she is walking, and I believe she's talking about balance, which is LOL.
He said Oprah's real strength isn't the size of her audience. It's the silence she leaves hanging between her words. She looks at you, nods, and waits, and in that pause, people start admitting things they've never even told their therapist. He called it straight-up sorcery. Emotional acupuncture, just with commercial breaks built in. For a moment, Tucker Carlson's tone got serious, even though the situation was still absurd. He said the most unsettling thing about Oprah is that she never blinks first in a conversation. She's always the calmest person in the room, like she's already lived the next 10 years, and is politely waiting for you to catch up. You could be falling apart, spiraling, crying, completely losing it, and Oprah would just sit there, one hand resting calmly, the other holding a fancy notebook, looking at you like you just commented on the weather. Then he lifted his eyebrows and said if there were a Mount Rushmore of media manipulation, Oprah wouldn't be carved into it, she'd be the mountain itself. She didn't just build a brand, you said, she built a belief system. A whole faith where she's the high priestess and the gospel is simple. Feel your truth, turn your pain into profit, and always deliver it with a warm smile. And with that, Tucker leaned back, crossed his arms, and let the picture sit there. A world run not by fear or force, but by a soothing voice, a slow nod, and a recommendation that just happens to come with a promo code.
Watch this. This is Oprah asking Trump if he's going to run for president. That's it. Play it.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally because I really am tired of seeing.
In the end, Joe Rogan and Tucker, two completely different personalities, somehow landed on the same idea from totally different directions. Oprah isn't really just a person anymore. She's a cultural weather system. One that rolls through and leaves behind gratitude journals, protein shakes, inspirational quotes, and a suspiciously expensive fleece blanket that somehow feels like forgiveness. And even though they were only scratching the surface, the roast was clearly not done. The empire of Oprah still stood tall and mostly untouchable, but it wasn't immune to a little playful demolition. Joe wasn't backing off. He looped back around like a hawk spotting fresh prey, laughing as he said Oprah's greatest achievement wasn't just building an empire, it was doing it in a way that made people feel grateful for the chance to get hustled. He joked that she could sell you your own couch and convince you it came with emotional clarity. You'd sit there thinking you were healing while she was already halfway to the bank, drafting another gold-plated gratitude journal. Joe added that you know you're truly powerful when you can casually recommend a book and the author's next stop is a private jet showroom. He mocked the reverence, saying Oprah doesn't just recommend books, she canonizes them. One nod from her, and suddenly your memoir about raising chinchillas in the Midwest is a sacred text with a Netflix deal. She could recommend a coloring book, he joked, and people would be writing dissertations about it by the end of the week.
All things are equal or at peace at all times.
Oh, she bites the dust. Let's see how she recovers.
She says new shoes.
Oh, those rude fucks. They edit it so she hits the ground over and over again. Well, you know what? I got to say, I like how she framed with her elbow and then did a roll. Right. She absorbed a lot of energy in a roll.
Good technique, Oprah.
Not bad.
Then he shifted to the infamous giveaways. Joe Rogan said the reactions in Oprah Winfrey's audience looked less like excitement and more like people witnessing a miracle. Folks are completely losing it over blenders and discounted cruises, as if they've just been touched by the spirit of personal finance. And every time Oprah stood there smiling like a kind queen handing out small appliances to the masses, somewhere a marketing team was probably slow-motion high-fiving each other. Meanwhile, Tucker came charging back from the other angle. He said the real secret behind Oprah's power is that she never leaves space for disagreement. Pushing back against Oprah feels almost like heresy. Try saying you didn't love one of her book picks and watch your social life quietly disappear. According to Tucker, it's not just branding, it's conditioning. You don't simply follow Oprah, you submit.
There's probably no one in history that I've ever seen that's been attacked the way you've been attacked.
He just wouldn't go. He was like a bug. He just kept being there. He was like a bug right there. So you felt...
And the way they've done it, so coordinated and systematically. When you see those same people in the past, very favorable to you, like Oprah, when you were on Oprah's show.
Very.
Donald Trump doesn't just live large. He lives, really, on top.
He even joked that Oprah Winfrey could walk into a policy debate, spend 6 minutes talking about spiritual wholeness, and walk out with bipartisan applause. Politicians grind for years trying to win trust, but Oprah shows up with a calm voice, tells you to start journaling, and suddenly she's more believable than the Surgeon General. Tucker Carlson said she might be the only person alive who could start a religion, call it brunch, and no one would even question it. There'd be candles, linen robes, and a required reading list, and people would sign up twice just to feel noticed. And as Joe Rogan and Tucker leaned back, taking in the cultural force that Oprah has become, neither thought the roast was anywhere near finished. Because with Oprah, there's always another layer, another warm smile, and another $1 trillion insight hiding behind a gentle whisper.